Hello guys. So we are going to see today about the Cisco Enterprise Core examination. This is about the CCNP Enterprise. In this there are two sections, the CCNP Core exam and the Core Concentration exam. The first exam that we need to secure is the CCNP Core. So the Cisco Enterprise Network Core exam is the one that we need to secure first. That is 350-401. This is the exam that we need to secure first. So basically, this Enterprise Core exam is like it is a 120-minute exam. Like it is associated with the CCNP and the CCIE Enterprise certification. So it will test a person's a candidate's how he can implement the core enterprise network technology using the dual stack IPv4 and IPv6 architecture. He implement models like it uses the centralized, distributed, controllerless, and controller based cloud remote concept. In SD access solution, we have like SD access control and data plane elements for traditional campuses. How do we between the hardware and software switch mechanism? You will know come to know about the process and CEF, how the MAC stable and T8. So that's 15% off. Like you have to know all these things to make sure that you have to know like these stuffs for 15% of the questions to be answered. The next thing, the 10 percentage of the questionation is the virtualization. So you have to describe the device virtualization techniques. Like you have to know about the hypervisor type 1, type 2, virtual machine, virtual switching. How do they configure and verify data path virtualization technologies, virtual routing and forwarding, GRE and IPsec tunneling? So this is comes under the virtualization, where like 10% of the questions will be there. And the network virtualization concepts, like what is LSCP, how where what is VXLAN and where it is used. 30% of the CCNP Enterprise Core examination questions will come from the infrastructure, where it consists of the layer 2 and the layer 3. So in layer 2, how do you troubleshoot static and dynamic 802.1q trunking protocols? How do you troubleshoot static and dynamic Ethernet channels? How do you configure and verify common spanning tree protocols? In the spanning tree protocols, the RSTP and MSTP they use. In layer 3, so you have they compare the routing concepts of EIGRP and OSPF. So how the it's they compare between the advanced distance vector, that's the EIGRP, versus the link state load balancing, path selection, path operations. What are the different metrics used? How do you configure and verify simple OSPF environments, including the multiple areas? How do they summarize areas, filtering, neighbor adjacency, point to point network types, and passive interface? So that's EBGP between different connected neighbors, best path selection algorithm, and neighbor relationship. So in the wireless, we have to describe the layer one concepts such as the art device capabilities, describe the AP models and antenna types, describe as access point discovery and joint process. So describe the main principles and use cases for layer 2 and layer 3 roaming, troubleshoot WLAN configuration and wireless connectivity issues. In IP services, they describe the network time protocol NTP. How do you configure and verify NAT and PAT? How do you configure first stop redundancy protocols such as HSRP and VRRP? Describe the multicast protocols such as PIM and IGMP V2 V3. So that's the 30% of the questions will be based on your layer 2, layer 3. That's the infrastructure in enterprise, where we deal with the OSPF, EHRP, the wireless concepts, layer 1, layer 3, layer 2, and layer 3, and IP services contract, where we have the network time protocol. So 10% of the questions will come on network assurance. So how do you diagnose the network problems such as a debug, conditional debugs, trace route? How do you ping CCNP and Cisco? Verify net flow and flexible net flow. How do you verify span, RSP, span, and ER span? How do you configure and verify IPS relay? What is Cisco DNA center? How do you apply the network configuration, monitoring, management? What is netconf, restconf, and how do you configure and verify them? Next 20% question is on the security. In security, like what are the different things is how do you verify the device access control, lines and password protection? How do you create password protection? How do the authentication? How this made? What is the authorization? How this made? How do you use AAA protocols? How do you verify infrastructure security features? So for infrastructures, they use ACLs and COPP, and the rest API security. So what are the different wireless security features? The EAP use web authentication, PSK. The describe the components of the network security design. So the threat defense, endpoint security, next generation firewall. What is TrustSec, MaxSec, network access control with 802.x MAB web authentication? And another 50% is on automation. So in automation, they will describe the high level principle and benefits of a data modeling language such as Yang. So describe APIs for Cisco DNA Center and manage. So interpret EM applet to automate configuration, troubleshoot, or data collection. Compare agent when agentless. So that's the whole whole thing, guys. So that really that like, so once you complete the first one, the core exam, you have 3 years of time, like in order to complete the next exam. But if you're quicker education, that certification is valid for 3 years from the date of completion. This is a very easy exam, but with quite a lot of preparation, trying to answer study as much as the core concepts. Like the first level of exam can be attempted, the core technology exam. There are various links where we can test our knowledge on the enterprise network core technologies, the existing network administrators, the existing network engineers who wanted to elevate their skills from a CCNA level to a CCNP level, can go ahead with this CCNP core exam, which will definitely give in the current market. So it will definitely give them a good scope for their work, as well as in their certifications. All the best, guys.